Hi, welcome back to Pieces of Fate. Thanks for joining us today. Let's start with introductions over here.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I play Phoebe, who is a sea witch.
Hi, I'm Carissa, and I play Patrick Eamon Kildarney, who is a halfling rogue smuggler.
I am Joel. I play Gato, a catfolk war priest of Serenray.
With a peg leg.
Hi, I'm Kay. I play as Verabel, the half-elf samurai.
And I'm Josiah. I play as Killian James, who's a gunslinger pistolero.
And I'm Jeremy. I play everyone else.
Yeah!
Alright, so we left off your second night at the Lizard Folk Village. And you had impressed the Lizard Folk with your offerings of a giant scorpion that Cocky killed all by herself. And
So she says.
and some baby tasty panthers. So you had a good night's sleep. Everybody slept through the night. It was uneventful. Nothing exciting happened. The next morning, the jungle is making all sorts of ruckus, and the lizard folk are up, beginning their daily tasks. And some of the warriors are getting ready to go. And Charles comes over, the old man leader of the lizard folk village that you met. And he sees you all kind of milling about, waking up and getting ready to go. And he comes over and looks at you and he says, "Ah, good morning. Good morning. Did you sleep well?"
Why?
Hey.
Like a baby.
Good.
Well,
Hopefully not like a baby panther. We guide you today to the temple of the Serpent's tongue. You are ready to go soon? Good, good. Our warriors guide you. So Charles indicates this one of those giant lizard folk, the one that's like twice as big as everybody else. And his arm's all wrapped up from some burns that he had on it, but he's not going to let that bother him, right? Because he's the warrior. So he's packing up some things and getting ready to go, and he looks over your direction, and Charles says, "Whenever you are ready."
let's be off.
Does he speak common?
Who?
Oh,
The warrior.
The warrior?
How? You can try to speak to him in common.
Well, you
Well,
can
she-
speak.
she-
Yeah, you
yeah,
can speak
she's-
Draconic.
Do you speak common? I'll ask him in Draconic. Do you speak common?
I do not speak common.
Okay, good to know. Just need to know if I needed to translate.
Alright, so we have to talk to this guy, we have to go through her.
Right.
first.
So you.
I doubt he's gonna go with us the whole way.
No,
He's just gonna
Take us
Drop
there.
he's leading you out.
take us there, yeah.
So you feel like you're in pretty good hands. This guy is he's
Yeah.
big. He could whoop any of you. And he leads you out, sort of towards the volcanoes, and it's quite a journey. I'm gonna assume you march in basically the same order that we had last time, except with him in front. So
Okay.
that would be him, followed by Kalki Tarun, right? Followed by you, then you, right? And
I
then
think so, yeah.
Verabel's in the middle.
I remember I was
Yeah, I thought
after
we were
him.
gonna have Cocky
Yeah,
walk
he
in
was
the back,
Oh, are you having Kalki walk in the
Yeah,
back?
she used to walk the back.
so she can get taken by that thing.
Well,
Whatever it was.
I'm gonna follow him because if anyone's going to protect me, it's this guy.
Rest of us sure try.
So I'll be right here, and then you can follow behind me, or not.
Alright, so who's in the rear?
Jaundice Jake.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Okay. Alright.
Tell him to stay close.
So,
The guy who doesn't speak is the one bringing up the rear.
Right.
Lovely.
No warning.
Alright.
we just need to make occasional perception checks.
If you want to switch the order, you can switch the order.
I think Cocky needs to bring up the rear.
I'm not bringing up the rear.
Can I roll an intimidate?
Sure.
Can we all roll intimidate at the same time?
Because a halfling is so intimidating.
I got 25 on my intimidate.
Are you taller than her?
So explain to me how this works.
I think since you decided you're the bravest person who killed the scorpion all by yourself, that you must be the bravest person here,
Truly
and
this.
we really need you to protect our back.
We greatly admired you.
Or sounds
Well,
like
that's diplomacy.
than intimidate.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, I can-
okay.
I don't know how to be intimidating.
That was very rational.
I mean, my
What
diplomacy.
rational
I would have got if I used the same roll for
Yeah.
diplomacy. I would have gotten a 26.
Maybe somebody else should try.
Can I combine the two?
No, that was what you just gave me was diplomacy.
Oh,
Uh,
I need intimidation lessons then.
yeah.
All right.
Intimidate is like, do this, or I'm going to pick up that cactus there and shove it up your nose.
Gotcha.
So, convincing lie, bluff, skill.
Okay.
Well, actually, as the one who, I think what she's trying to say is the one who killed the giant scorpion by herself. That is the leader for sure. And the position of honor is all of us go before you because we get killed off first, and you are in the position of honor.
You're
And I
watching
have
over all of us.
convincing lie, and if she buys this, it should be my bluff skill, and she'll believe me as gospel truth for 4 days.
Okay, roll it.
Oh, bluff.
Looking
So,
over all of
what
us.
do I roll? 20?
3 d20s.
Yes.
And add your bluff score.
Alright, this is where you go into dice jail. Or not. 17.
What's
Two
your
17s,
Two
yeah.
17s and a
bluff
14.
skill?
My what?
What's
Your
your
bluff
bluff?
skills.
Oh, plus 8, so 26.
Woohoo!
25.
25. It's math. I don't do math.
It's okay.
I believed you.
For 4 days.
Well, I mean, I always thought that the leader should lead from the front, but I do see what you're saying. If somebody's going to get picked off, then I suppose it would make sense for that person to be up front, and then I could be safer in the back, because I am more important than all of you. So, I'll take up the back with Jaundice Jape.
Well done, show us that.
So Cocky moves to the back, right behind Jaundice Jape.
That's a good place for her to be.
Make sure you stay way back in case anything comes at us from the front.
Give you more time.
She's not sure about that. But she does move to the back. And she feels very satisfied that she has been given the
So
position
we don't have
of
to
honor.
make quite as many perception checks for that guy now. Still need to check just to
We
make
need
sure
to
the
check
rest of
just
us
so
are
that,
okay.
yeah, once she gets taken, we'll be able
Yeah, because John Mistake then won't be able to let us know.
So,
And we want to keep him
We're
around.
so
I mean, he's
bad.
alright.
so you walk through single file through the jungle, following this great big dude, and you notice the smell of sulfur gets stronger as you get closer to the volcanoes, and the jungle gets a little bit thinner and it gets a little bit rockier and steeper right as you get to the base of these mountains. Make a perception check for me.
14.
I have
18.
a nat 20 and then a 20 with my bonus. So
Okay.
A 10.
15.
My middle is a 10. I have plus 8, so 18, but I also rolled a 1, so it depends on if my 18
Well,
is...
yeah, 18 is fine.
Okay.
So Killian notices first that there's another smell on top of the sulfur, and it's another burning smell, but you can tell that there's a difference. This is a burning like of wood. This is a wood fire burning.
okay.
Do you point it out?
I smell some like a campfire.
You smell it too.
Wood
Yeah,
fire.
I can't get the direction.
Mhm.
You can make a survival check to try to get the direction.
So I go up to the warrior
I
and just
can't
gonna
get
tap him.
20 and a
Cody,
17.
do you smell a
Do you have
wood
a
fire
bonus on
burning?
your survival?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Is
20
it-
and a 17.
You can tell based on the direction of the wind. If
Okay.
the wind is coming from the east, then you can smell that fire, that campfire. The camp must be to the east.
Tap the warrior and say,
Yeah, I
is
was
the
gonna say-
fire anything we should be concerned
Yeah,
about?
should we investigate or be concerned about it?
This fire is not a threat to you, unless your own people are a threat to you.
What does that mean?
The other parties that are out searching for different things.
Yes.
We were splitting parties, and some of them are searching
Oh.
for, we were like the leftovers that nobody else wanted.
Because we have been out
Oh yeah, I
there for a
forgot. I
while.
forgot our other groups were on the island.
Yeah.
If you want to investigate the fire, you can,
Nah.
or you can just
Nah,
keep
the
on.
warrior's not worried about it. He reminds us the other groups are there.
Okay.
We'll keep going.
Okay, you keep on. It's at least half a day's like steady journey, and where you started in the thick woods of the jungle, you end where there's hardly any plant life at all. It's mostly just volcanic rock. It's that hard volcanic flow, right? And it gets hotter as well, and you can see little bits of lava streaming past down the mountain. And you have to. He takes you along a path where you have to jump over little streams of lava. Nothing that's threatening.
Does he
Nothing
need to
real
make an
dangerous.
acrobatics check?
Please say no. I have -4 to
No,
the-
just him. Just him. Oh, maybe you're short.
I have good acrobatics now.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't have to make an acrobatics
Okay.
check.
Okay.
And after about half a day's journey, you arrive at this entrance to a temple. It's
Thank God.
clearly carved out of stone, and the stone has been stacked up in order to make a small temple. The entrance is maybe 10 feet, 15 feet wide. It's maybe 40 feet deep, and on either side of that entrance is a carved sphere with a snake wrapped around it in a counterclockwise direction. And there's a little stairway up and down that goes in between these two spheres with the snakes curled around them. And that would be the entrance to the temple.
Do I
Are
know
there
of
any
any
dead
religion
bodies,
based on
bones, or
this?
anything around the entrance?
Like a
No
front
dead
of the
bodies
mask.
outside of the entrance. It's very dark inside. What was that?
I said, do I know anything about any particular religion that might involve this?
You can make a religion check.
And I have knowledge history, so I want to roll for that too.
Sure, you can make a history check.
I have a 20 on
I
top
don't
of a
think my
14.
knowledge ability is going to help us yet.
You never
That
know.
include your bonus?
It's related to pirate roll.
I didn't know if Arcana or Nature.
I have 9 from my history check.
There are a lot of different cultures that revere snakes, and so Joel, you get out of this basically what you got out of your experience on the island, which is that this tribe of lizard folk, the Black Scales, they revere this feathered winged serpent god, the Coatl, and so this is probably something to do with all of that.
Can I use my low light vision and perception to look into the dark foyer?
Sure. So you see a long hallway, and there's actually heat. Now that you're close enough to it, there's heat coming out of it, and you can see because you can see inside. You know those heat ripples that you get when you're looking through something that's real hot, and you can hear this sort of a psh, 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 like something firing in there, and you can see in this long hallway. There's another doorway at the end of it, very similar to the door at this end. And it seems to just dead end past that door. But all along the walls of the hall are these carved serpent heads sticking out. And each time this little psh, psh, psh shoots out, it's coming out of one of those serpent head
Kind of like a
mouths.
steam vent.
It's like a steam vent.
And
Yeah.
it's just a long hallway with a door at the end, no other off bridges or anything?
No other off branches. And
Okay.
the other thing that you notice, there are several piles of bones on the floor, but what's more striking about the floor is that it's moving.
Oh.
So we got a moving floor and some bones. Outside of that, it looks pretty safe.
How is it moving?
Okay, so they told us last time that like the lizard folk don't set foot inside the temple, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I
So he basically, this warrior that guided you to the temple's entrance, he just looks at you and he goes, "Good luck," and he turns and walks away.
Wait,
So,
any words of advice?
Yeah, right.
Never hurts to ask.
It doesn't hurt.
Don't die. As you get closer, you can see that the reason the floor is moving is because of
Snakes.
all the snakes.
Snakes!
do these snakes seem aggressive in any way? They're just hanging out.
No, they're
Could-
just
Could I
They're
do like a knowledge
poisonous.
nature to see if
Yeah, they're poisonous.
venomous?
yeah. That's a good idea.
Venomous.
Do it.
My bad.
I crit
No, there you go.
and I got
She knows her snakes.
21.
Yeah. There are several different species of snakes slithering about inside this hallway, and some of them are venomous.
And because I crit, will I know which ones so I can relay that information to everyone?
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, it's the
Assuming
ones with
they're
the
all
big
like-
heart-shaped heads.
Yeah.
Watch out for the ones with the big heart-shaped heads.
But because they're all just in there
Yeah.
swirling
Yeah,
and
we do.
slithering over
Pick
each
one, pick
other,
'em out.
it's hard to pick one out at a time.
Can I step my peg leg into the room and see if it makes them mad?
Yeah, you can.
So basically just walk up to the door and basically just step into the room.
Okay, so put yourself on that first square there.
We're in
Oh, you're over here.
Over there.
So you carefully place your peg leg down on the floor in the midst of the snakes. And you can see the floor. You kind of wiggle your peg leg in between the snakes and you get it down there to the floor. It's not that the floor is so thick with snakes that it's hard to find the floor. There's just a lot of snakes. And now that you're in there, you can see that there are little holes in the bottom of the wall as well, where the snakes can come in and go out. And you successfully land your peg leg on the first step, and nothing happens. They just slither around it.
Okay. So then
I like snakes.
I'm gonna carefully walk in, about 10 feet or so.
You just can go right
So-
in. All right.
As you
Maybe we should
as
do
you
something
start
first.
stepping in, you notice that all the blasts of hot air that are just randomly coming out of different snake mouths
That's what I
on the
kind of was
wall.
hoping I could do, is kind of maybe investigate those a little bit closer.
If there's
Well,
something to
you
close that
do.
off.
You investigate so close that it goes psh, right in your face, and you take.
Oh, I can't look at it from the side.
Well, it's difficult while you're trying to navigate your feet in here to also predict which one
Also,
of
how
these
far are
things
these
is
things in?
going
Are
to
these things
fire.
coming all the way to the center of the room then, or?
Yeah, so these blasts of hot air that seem to just be
Let's say check for traps.
chaotically released
I'm not in there
from
yet.
various snake heads. So there are snake heads up high and there are snake heads down lower too, and so they're just all shooting out. Probably 3 or 4 of them are firing at a time, but there doesn't seem to be any pattern that
Pattern.
you've recognized yet.
Any sort of lever or something to shut
So,
it off.
Yeah. Is there
you get a
anything in
blast to
here?
the face of it, and you take 3 points of heat damage. Since you're in there, you can actually hear some sort of a mechanism at work
Can I
in
see
the
it anywhere?
in the
Like,
floor. You don't see it. You just see the effects. You see that this heat is being released from these snake mouths.
okay, do y'all see anything outside as far as for how to turn this stuff off?
Can we perceive anything if like these two spheres, like if there's anything on it?
Well, I'm saying look for some sort of
Yeah,
mechanism.
or anything
Yeah,
around the entrance.
make
or-
a perception check.
Can I make one from the inside to see if I see anything about it?
Uh-huh.
I will
Okay,
also
so-
make a perception check.
14.
We'll do it.
17.
Yeah, 14.
You don't see anything outside. The only thing that looks like it could have anything to do with what's inside are those two snake spheres, but they're just statues. They don't rotate. There's no mechanism that you can find on them.
From the inside, I got a 12, but I also have a 1 with it.
You find that this snake head right in front of you appears like you could twist it somehow.
Let's try that.
Okay, make a strength check.
14.
14, it doesn't want to twist.
Okay. Then, okay, so am I still, am I like on my own turn again, or can I,
Yeah,
can I use
we're
my
not
actions?
doing like rounds right now.
Alright. Then I would like to, as carefully but as quickly as possible, so I don't want to anger these snakes by like tromping on them,
Yeah.
but I want to move past the snake heads like into this doorway.
All the way down there. All right.
Like just past the blast zone.
You take 2 more points of damage, not at the same time, but just from 2 incidental blasts.
And he doesn't get bit by the snakes.
He said he was moving carefully.
Okay.
Now that I'm here,
Okay,
what can I
yeah.
see?
You see a pit. You see a deep hole. And actually, around that entrance there's
Hey, I played Pitfall as a kid. I'm good at this.
you see several ropes going down into this hole. One of them is attached to a grappling hook that's just on the ledge there, that inside ledge. And then the other 2 are tied to different snake heads just right outside that door. The stone snake heads, not the
What kind of
slithering
condition
ones.
do these ropes look to be in?
Make a you have sailor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, make a sailor check.
I've got
That's a 4.
Well, I got a 4 on the other one, so I got a 10 then.
2 of them look like they're in really good condition. One of them you can obviously tell it's not something you want to put weight on.
You're going to share that
Okay,
information with the rest of
but
us.
the rest of us are still not
We're not
inside.
even in,
so see
yeah.
if you can find some sort of lever to turn off the heat things.
Can I see any other kind of mechanism to this?
Make another perception check.
What's
14.
your strength?
Oh,
yours is +3.
no, you. Unless there's something like underneath the snakes and the bones, then you.
What's your-
There's probably nothing.
Mine's +1.
Well, I guess I yell back at him like, "Hey, these watch out for these things because they're hot and they're burning things.
Burning things.
But
That's-
someone needs to try and twist that one."
Okay, so he indicates to you the one that he thinks should be twisted.
So I guess I'll go in and I'll try to turn the
Okay.
one that he tried to turn earlier. I'll roll a strength and see how that works.
Okay.
Put her.
If somebody can move me.
Yeah. Is she gonna tread lightly?
Let's see.
I'll
Like,
assume
these
that you're
snakes are
treading
like
lightly.
waist high
Yes.
to me, probably.
Okay, so I got
What's
13.
the
I got
top or
13.
above your head?
A 13.
Like,
Yeah.
You can't bend it.
I do have fly.
You do get shot in the face for 2 points of damage.
But, I don't know.
Like, guys, unless one of y'all can turn this thing, it's probably best to just run through.
Is there space for all of
Treading
us
light.
if we run through?
There's another
Single
door, but
file,
there's
maybe?
a pit.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do we know there's a pit?
Oh yeah, so like if
Because
we get to the
otherwise-
other side of the snakes.
We come running through and push them into the
Yeah.
pit.
I touch one of the ropes that looks like it's in good condition, and I cast my light spell. The whole rope now glows,
Ooh,
so I can see down into the pit.
Okay.
there you go.
This pit looks like it's about 50 feet deep, and at the bottom of the pit, you see water.
So like it's going into a well, basically.
Yes.
How much room is there, like, on these outskirts there? Would we all be able to stand on this ledge around it if we all moved back into this back room?
Sure. That ledge goes all the way around.
I'd say since no one can find a mechanism, make a run for it, take a point or two of incidental damage, and regroup in here.
Away from the snakes. Are there no snakes in that room?
The snakes will kind of slither in there, but they don't hang out. Although maybe one or two slithers in and accidentally falls down into the pit while you're watching.
Alright,
No telling
well,
how many snakes have done that before.
Alright.
I'll tread lightly through the
Well,
snakes
if they
into the
don't
room.
have a way to get out somehow, they'll eventually drown, so they're all dead at some point. Unless there's a way out of that water.
Alright. You get smacked with 2 blasts to the face, but you only take 1 damage from each.
Okay. Oh, so 2?
Yep. It is hot and it smells bad, and you have to step through snakes. But you make it to the other side.
Okay.
I'll go. I will run through
Run?
carefully. I'll tread lightly through there. Sorry.
I will run lightly,
I'm gonna put mine
slowly,
up on top
but
and
fast.
fit on the end.
And
Exactly.
carefully.
And carefully.
Are those more bones in the corner right there?
Probably.
You take 6 points of
Whoa.
Wow.
heat blast damage. Well, you got hit by 4 of them.
Of course I did.
Okay, so I'm in the little room there. Are those bones in the corner?
Yes.
Some more bones?
Yes, there's several piles of bones here
Is
where
this one
people
Nothing.
perished.
I'm on the
Do I
right,
see
okay.
anything in the bones? It's like,
So I had to-
do I see
I had to
anything
take
in the
one
bones
real
of
quick.
like any useful information?
Make a
any,
perception
any
check.
loot?
Are there any
1, 10, and 15.
You don't. You see snakes in the bones.
Is there anything in this room that would most likely sink that is also something I could move around?
Well, there's bones.
Would they sink if I threw them in the pit?
Fool of a took.
I mean, it feels like there's enough marrow left in this bone that it might sink. I mean, it would at least it would drop in.
Okay. Well, I can already see the water though. I need something that is sinkable. Like, is there a brick or any loose brick or anything in here?
While he's doing that, can I go ahead and tread carefully and head that way?
Yes.
Okay.
You are very
Do I want to kind
small.
of search while I'm looking to see if there's something else besides that mechanism?
You can do that.
Okay.
Make a perception check.
23.
Oh gosh, you.
So 23.
15 plus 8.
Oof. You don't find any mechanisms. In fact, you can see by looking at that one that was pointed out that it doesn't appear to turn at all.
Don't feel bad, guys.
Thanks a lot.
I couldn't turn it. It doesn't turn.
But you also notice something shiny in one of the piles of bones.
Can I pick it up without getting bitten?
You can try.
What do I roll to try?
Let's make a sleight of hand.
Okay, I like those. Plus 10.
Triple
Yeah,
ones.
that'd be then these dice would go to dice jail. No, an 11, so 21.
21. You find a beautiful necklace.
Ooh.
Yeah, it is pretty.
And you
I
are
pocket it.
pummeled in the face. Fortunately, you're
Lower.
kind of under a
Yeah.
lot of the ones that are shooting over your head, but you do take what they would have taken to the stomach, you take to the face, and you take 6 points of damage. Blasts of
I knew from
heat
the look on his face when he rolled the dice,
scorch
you were in kind of trouble.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, it's worth it. I got a nice.
All right. One of the things I'm carrying on me is a pot that weighs 4 pounds. That would sink, right?
That would sink.
All right. I cast light on it and drop it down the well
Okay.
to where I can like try to ascertain like how deep it is,
Yeah.
or see if there's any like tunnels like branching off of it, or.
Yes.
How high up is the
I heard
ledge?
that.
It's about 50 feet above the water.
So can we actually see that?
With his rope, so he cast light on a rope,
Right.
and the rope lights up this entire tunnel, so
Right,
you can
yeah.
see all the way down.
But still,
There's
just that distance. I
some
mean.
vines growing up. Oh yeah, you can see 50
Okay.
feet.
Okay. All right.
And now that you've dropped your light pot,
Well, I mean, just like the direction. And... Okay. All right.
yeah, it's straight down.
Okay.
And your light pot allows you to see that the water is about 10 feet deep, and this tunnel is about 10 feet wide, and it only goes off in one direction.
Is it completely submerged or?
It is completely submerged.
I head down the rope.
Dang it.
I grab one of the good ropes. I slide down into the water.
All right.
And I float out. I like basically tread water there to see what the rest of the group's gonna do.
And we go,
Splash.
Hey, can you
I
share
will
your
water
air
of a
bubble?
cat. I will.
Can you share what?
His
I
air bubble.
do not know.
Mm-hmm. So air
Well, that means
bubble.
only one of us could use it though. So
Air bubble creates a bubble around either a person's head or an object.
Right.
One of the uses they recommend is casting air bubble on your gun.
Yeah, no,
And then
that's
you
specifically
can
why I
actually
asked.
fire your gun underwater, but it's this tiny little air bubble. So it's not something that would allow like everybody to
Well, then
breathe.
since
Well,
Godzilla-
but you
So
can,
he can't
and-
cast it multiple times.
I'm down in
Right.
the water right now. The water's only about 10 feet deep. Can I dive down, pick up my pot, and like shine it down this submerged tunnel?
Sure.
Try and see how far it is.
Yeah.
You can kind of scope all around down there, can he? Because he
Mhm.
can
Just
breathe.
guys are-
Well, I haven't even catch my air bubble yet. I only have to
okay.
dive down
Yeah.
10 feet to get the
Right.
pot, and then like the tunnel's like
Right.
submerged, but I can like go under for a second.
Yeah, but
and
if you
kinda
need to, can you
shine
cast it while he's underwater, or does he have to be up there?
If it has a verbal component, he cannot.
It could just sound.
Right. Yes.
Uh,
Vato, Virato.
it does not say, but what kind of check am I making?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe
I don't think you need to make a check. You just swim down and get it.
Yeah.
You can swim. You don't like it.
But well,
He doesn't
It
have to
gets
make
all
some
in your
check.
fur and makes you feel real wet.
Well, you
yeah.
know,
But basically, I just swim down, grab the pot,
Yeah.
and like kind of shine it into the entrance of this
Plus
submerged
there's
tunnel.
nothing.
Can I see
Yeah.
the end
Aim
of
your
it? Or
pot.
can I see a
Couldn't
spot
do
where there
anything.
might be it rises up and there's air?
You do not see an end. The water is murky, and you can see little things swimming in it, just little water bugs and those kind of things, and then a couple of snakes that fell in.
Anyone know offhand how long the air bubble spell lasts?
1 minute per level, so 2 minutes.
2 minutes. And how long can I hold my breath without?
So you can hold your breath for a number of rounds, roughly equal to twice your Constitution score.
Your score?
But
Do you get any bonus for 2 times 0?
no, that's your modifier. I'm saying
Oh,
your
your
score.
score.
But if you want to do anything other than just swim, then it basically costs you another round of movement.
So
Right,
I
so
could
you
spend,
get a
I could
move.
spend so like on my last round, I
Mhm.
could cast my air bubble.
Yeah.
All right. So
We
I-
can't,
I
really,
keep-
so find us a good way.
I like strap my pot to my belt, so I still have kind of a lamp in this water, and I start swimming through the tunnel.
Joe, what was your question?
Is there still up on the ledge? Is there
And then we
any
just
like
split the party.
any like
Someone's got to figure out
I
if
know,
y'all can
you're
get
the only
there.
one who can get there.
I lost the word I had it when I asked it. Just like secret passages or whatever. You know.
Oh, make a perception check.
15.
You search around and you look at all the little the stones that are kind of built together to make the walls of this thing, but you don't see anything that would indicate
Okay.
some sort of secret passage. Joel is about to embark on
Right.
on a journey
By himself.
by himself.
Unless you want to come with.
Anybody
I
want
have one air
to
bubble.
join Gato in the?
I figured that makes me the scout for underwater territory.
Yeah.
I will go down in case he needs healing, so he's not by himself.
Okay.
You go, Phoebe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully
breathe
my hair will
underwater?
reach.
Well, that's what I assume you're doing is scouting
Yeah,
ahead.
it's
You're
just
not
you, I
going ahead. You're
No,
just
I'm
scouting
basically,
ahead.
I'm basically like, I'm the only one that can breathe
Right.
underwater. And this appears to be the only exit through the submerged tunnel,
That's
so
what I'm saying.
gotta
I
see
can
if-
wait
I gotta
up
see
here
if
as
y'all
easy as I can
swim.
tread water.
I
Yeah.
gotta
So you're
see-
just scouting. You're not leaving us and going
y'all
ahead.
are all up him to jump into the water
Yeah.
and be there behind, like be there at the entrance to that
In
tunnel.
case it's a dead end,
But-
that's what I'm saying. Maybe we shouldn't all go down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gato.
So Phoebe's down, Gatto's down.
Well, there's ropes.
That's it.
You're the only one
We
with
can
an.
climb back out of the pit.
You're the
We
only
just
one
don't know
with
what's
an
down
air-
this tunnel.
You're the only one with an air bubble.
Yeah. Well.
Down below, especially under the water, you can hear this mechanism, and it's much clearer down here. You're either getting closer to it or the water is amplifying it, but you can hear that there's some sort of a machine at work down here, and you can almost hear the gases released from whatever this mechanism is traveling up through little tubes and coming out of those holes up above.
Can I see anything along the walls or floor of this as I'm like making my
You
way through
see
it?
corpses. There are quite a few dead people down here, and go ahead
That didn't swim enough.
and place your miniature on the first Harrow card, and remove the first Harrow card.
Right here.
Yep. So the first thing you find is this full plate of armor with a rotting corpse inside it, and that's just kind of the immediate first little swim.
I'll just leave it be for now. I'm not going to try to carry anything heavy through here.
Yep. Okay, so if you want to continue moving, so these little bubbles that you have here, that's your breath. So you moved to that first one, give up one of those bubbles. And now if you want to move again, you give up another one and you swim through the tunnel.
So do we move him
Yep.
across these?
And remove the Harrow card. You can now see
Torch.
someone's discarded torch. Probably didn't do them much good down here. And you can move again, or you can pick up the torch. And each of these
you
is,
have 20 of them.
this is about
Okay.
10 feet of movement each time. I'm approximating everyone's swim speed to be about the same.
So we have the number
Probably.
of bubbles based on our constitution.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if he swims through there, does he get his breath back and then he comes back and tells us, or are we just all gonna have to chance it?
All right.
I assumed he was scouting ahead and gonna see if he can get through and then let us know.
You know, like I said, once I run
We
out
can't
of these,
talk.
Well, yeah,
know.
nobody clarified anything, so he's just gonna do what he's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
do.
he
Yeah.
just.
And
he
you
just
can do what
barged
you're gonna
in.
do, but you
Yeah.
can't talk about it.
Okay.
Right. Anyway, once I run out of these, though, I can come back out.
Yeah.
Like, I can still make
But
it
we
back
don't.
out with my
All right,
air bubble.
But we don't know what you're gonna do.
So,
I
are you
just
going-
basically,
You
I'm
didn't
just
confer
floating out
anything.
there like, hey.
Yeah.
are you gonna keep going? All right, move him up. So now you see,
Hey, that's a long tunnel.
what is that? A breastplate. Looks really heavy, and the dude that's rotting inside it looks like he should have taken it off. Moving on.
Yeah, I'll keep it.
Let me know when you want to pick something up.
While I don't still know how far this thing goes.
There's a lovely rapier. Keep going.
I can come back for it later.
Yeah.
I think if nothing else, I bet that mechanism controls this pit being submerged too, so we can just come back and loot the whole place later.
He went.
Okay. Chainmail.
Also heavy.
Yeah.
Not bright people that were down here.
So I think
That's
I know
where
why
the
these.
heaviest armor
I
possible.
think I know why these
Yeah,
corpses ended up down here.
Yeah. All right, another one.
Heavy
It's
crossbow.
a nice crossbow. A
Yes.
heavy one though. That one looks like it was just discarded because it was too heavy.
Okay. Dwarven axe.
Oh, another heavy thing.
Wait, when I'm using my air bubble, do I get these back since I can breathe?
At the end of the tunnel.
As soon as you cast air bubble, you will get those back.
Sweet. I keep going.
Chain shirt.
You're noticing a pattern that people have discarded
Heavy
a lot of
mace. Yeah.
heavy things here at the beginning of this tunnel.
Okay, you still going?
Yep, so do another one.
Steel shield.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's still not to the end. Does he have to go through all of these? Shovel.
He has to get to the end.
Oh, it's just right here.
Oh no,
We
it
don't
keeps
know.
going.
Oh, dang. Okay.
I keep going.
Drill.
It's a nice drill. It's hardly rusted at all.
See, the thing is, though,
Do you want to pick it up?
I don't know. No. It looks like it's going to take my breath and my air bubble to get through here, and I won't have enough to get all the way back out.
You don't know.
And how would y'all get all the
You
way
don't
through
know
in the
that.
I
first
can't get
place?
all the way through it with that,
Yeah.
if that's it. But
Like,
we don't know this.
Since I have the air bubble, I'm basically going to.
Yeah, we have no idea what
I'm
you're
gonna
doing.
have. I'm
When
gonna,
he gets to the end and he goes, does he get all those back?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so then
Yeah.
you would have your bubbles to come, or your air.
But that's not enough to make it back.
Yeah, because you won't have your air thing again.
Well, he's almost out of bubbles, is what he's saying.
And he
I'm
doesn't
saying when
know.
he
I
gets
can
to
make-
the end,
but
he
I'll-
goes,
I have
and
enough-
they all come back.
Yeah,
but he
I'd have
doesn't.
enough. Well, I'd have enough time with my air bubble to get through.
Okay.
But he doesn't know how long the tunnel is.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
I can't be any longer in that deck of cards. But basically,
Joel knows that, but Doctor
I basically have to stake. I basically have to stake being able to like get most of the way through the tunnel and then come back out and be like, none of us can make it through this. At which point, since we can't find any other way to do anything, the game's pretty much over for us.
There's got to be something.
Or
There's gotta be
I
something.
There's got to be a way to
or I
drain
can
it.
get
There's
through
always
this,
a way.
Hey,
or I can get.
You
through
wasting
this
so
tunnel.
much time. You just lost another bubble in
Oh,
that same
goodness.
space. All right,
All right, let's move.
let's save the metagaming for after the game.
So do I start him back here?
Yep.
Going.
Go.
Studded leather.
Rolling.
Going. Cutlass.
Ooh, that's a nice cutlass.
Nice color.
Pick all this stuff up after I drain this tunnel later.
Axe. Repeating crossbow.
Guys, I can't even see him anymore.
No, you
Can't
can't. You can't even see the
Yeah,
light.
Oh wow. Okay then.
it's
And
been
the
quite
water's so
long.
murky, you can only see like 20 feet ahead of you. So you just keep swimming.
It's like I can see 20 feet.
Okay. You get another?
Yeah, I guess get it.
Another rapier, or a different rapier. Okay. Did you spin another? I think you did. Buckler.
At this point, I call up to say, I can't see him and he's been down there a while. Should I go after him?
Let him just
Give him a minute. He's
Pop
got
my
air
air
bubble.
bubble.
give him
I cast my air bubble. So I'll get an additional, what you said was
2
2
minutes.
minutes.
2 minutes. So that's it's
So
10,
he's
10
used-
rounds. So 20. You get 20 movements basically.
Let's move forward 20.
Okay. So each of those is 10
And that's
feet.
all the way
but
through.
you just go. So go one more, because he's now cast his air bubble.
Ooh, pistol.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and he goes again,
Hammer.
I think that's all of them.
and
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
I just counted to make sure.
Yeah.
It's 18 more spaces.
Well, at this point, you can see through the murk a wall up ahead.
And no opening.
He doesn't see an opening yet.
Okay. Oh, is he going again?
Yep.
I keep moving forward.
Crowbar.
I can't do anything else at this point.
Yeah, you can see that there. Now you can see there is an opening. It bends up.
Okay, I swim up.
Well, you're not there yet.
I
You can
swim
see it.
towards it. Yeah, I keep
Oh.
swimming towards that
Yeah.
opening.
Long
I
sword.
keep swimming towards
One
where
more.
it looks like there might be air.
And you're out.
Triumph.
And you
Alright.
get that card. Okay, so that's 5 rounds of your air bubble.
Let's
How
go
many
have
did
it.
bubbles
I
did
can't-
he have?
Does he get those back now that he completes?
Yeah, he gets those back.
How many did he have total?
Joel.
Twice his constitution
I
minus
got a
1.
19.
So I have 19, and how much time do I have left on my air bubble?
You have 15 rounds left.
But the thing is, the mechanism to open it up is in here. My air bubble's a level 1 spell. I'm not going to be able to cast it again.
It is much louder here, and if you lift up your pot, you can see that there's a you come up out of a little cistern, and there's stairs coming up to another doorway similar to the doorways you came in through, and in that room you see a very large statue of a feathered serpent coiled around itself with its mouth open, and you see the source of this noise is the machine that's powering the blades that are crisscrossing this way and that way across the floor of this room.
So that's what the
dance,
dance was
yeah.
about.
But you have to decide. Are you going to go try to figure that out
I
while
was
your air
good.
bubble runs out, or are you going to come back and tell us?
No, because if I come back, there's no way we can shut down this machine when we're
Yeah.
all trapped
So
outside.
you
You
guys
have
are gonna
14
do it.
rounds remaining.
Yeah. But like I said, I can't make it through here on my oxygen alone.
But you get that
You
back.
get all that back.
I get that back.
And you have it.
But I can't cast my air bubble again, and it
No, I
takes
know.
both to get through.
I know, I'm saying. So
Oh.
you have to make that decision, but,
Exactly. Can
but
I
you've
can
got
I
those
like
back.
depend like how thick are the walls? Like if I yell or if I like beat on the wall, can they like hear me? Okay.
How far?
Right.
Each one of those were like 10 feet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's long.
Okay. Cartman time. Hey, you guys, I'm out.
Well, the only way onward is.
I'm gonna keep investigating this machine so I can figure out some way to shut it down.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Perception is 15 with a 20 on top.
I mean, you watch the blades moving through this room, and you can tell that there's some sort of a wheel gear mechanism in the walls that's being powered by the heat from the volcano, and the blades are moving right up until they get to that central statue. And then you can tell that there are actually two sets of blades. There's one set of blades that is just right up to the edge of the statue, and there's another set of blades that extends out on top of that. And then when it gets to the statue, it retracts in and goes around it and comes back out. But as far as what exactly is powering these, you can't tell. There's just a slit in the wall, and those blades are coming out of those slits in the wall.
So they're not coming out of the floor?
Nope. They're about 6 inches above the floor. And everything, there are corpses and bones anywhere from long dead corpse, barely recognizable as anything more than dust, to something that was probably a couple weeks old. But they've all been cut down and chopped up until they don't stand any more than 6 inches above the floor. And there's treasure all over the floor in here.
That's when you had to pick up the little flowers.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna call back up and guys, how much longer should we give him?
And you have 12 rounds left on your air bubble.
You can't like dispel it and save the rest, can you?
How many?
No one else can
We
get
can't
through
make
here.
it, but
He's
we don't
used
know
8.
that.
He's used 8.
Huh?
I can make
Well,
it.
you
Wait,
can.
how much did he? He had 20.
You have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you have 22 rounds to make it through.
I can make it, but I
Well-
don't know that.
And you also, yeah, that's true. Let's quit metagaming. You don't know any of this, so there's no point in speculating.
I'm just asking the party.
I say,
He's been
the
going a
only
while,
way to
should I
go
go
forward
after
is
him?
to go forward. So,
Is that your response to her?
Go after him?
aye.
Okay.
You have a choice.
We've been given a mission. Let's get it done.
Oh, they're all gonna drown down here.
No.
Not all of us
So-
went down.
She's a sea witch.
So you can breathe underwater?
Can you?
Not today.
Okay. Whatever that means. Okay. Well, if it takes 22,
Yep.
I still have 3 left over.
Well, you don't know how many.
But we don't
Well,
know
but
that.
I will.
But-
I mean,
but
as
I'm
I go
saying,
through
I'm-
it, that's what I have
I'm
to
You're
do.
going.
sitting down there.
Okay,
so
you're going.
Yeah, you're
We're
mitigating.
the only ones who
No,
went
but I
down.
mean, as I go through it,
I
that's
tried
what
to make the tunnel appear longer than it actually is so that you wouldn't know, but it did occur to me that you might send one person through, at which point everybody that follows after can gauge their
Then
little,
again,
okay,
I-
now I'm going to spend an extra one on this one to pick up this weapon,
let me put it this way.
but just
I'm
try
going-
not to.
I'm going after him
Yeah.
because I'm the healer. He doesn't
Right.
come back.
Exactly.
I'm just swimming as far as I
Yeah.
can.
And they've left me in the
And I
dust,
just
so
happen to
I'm gonna
come up.
catch up to
Okay.
them.
Yeah.
And so you make it up,
I'm still up there.
and you see what
You
he
can
see.
power
You actually see
yourself
him
up.
there.
Oh, you're not going in.
I don't
No.
know. I don't know that
Well,
I'll be able to
I'm
make
kind
it.
of.
And
You've
that
got
takes you
to
how
still
long
up
to
here
get
just
there?
watching.
I'm one of the adventurers.
That's
Is it
I'm
like-
that's
not gonna
well
let
over
them
12
leave me.
rounds,
How
right?
long's
Well,
our
that's
adventure?
12. You have
Yeah.
12 per
Well,
line.
yeah.
So that's 12.
Out of
That's
this many?
20.
Yeah. I'm just
22.
making sure that I'm calculating
20.
how much time he has left on his air bubble,
Uh-huh.
and so now it's expired.
Okay.
Yeah, on the 23rd round is basically where I came out at the end.
Okay. So you okay?
Yeah,
And
I'm
then I
fine.
okay, and then I
I'm
see
just
the
trying
floor.
to figure out how to navigate this. Looks like the little dance thing we did the other night.
Okay.
I'm gonna go after them because I'm getting tired of sitting here doing nothing and them leaving me in the dust. Because I'm kind of one of the
Okay, so
adventurers
here's
as
the
well.
problem.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm taking a breath right now.
Yeah. So you get all those back.
And I say, I'm gonna go let everyone else know how long it is.
Do you have
I'm
enough to
a
make
rat.
it through in one round?
Well, I do
Yeah.
because
Did
I
you tell
took
us
took
that
a
that
good
was your
breath.
to get them all
plan
back.
beforehand?
Yeah.
No, I just went
Oh.
after him.
Yeah.
Now that I
Oh.
found
No,
him,
I'm
I
saying,
told
like, with the
him.
amount I had to begin
I'll be
with,
right
I didn't
back.
have enough to
I'm
We
get
all
gonna
have
go tell
different
the
amounts
party.
based on our constitution.
So I'm swimming back up
Mhm.
the tunnel to tell y'all that
So-
he's okay.
So Phoebe pops back up.
He's okay. It's about a little over 200 feet long, maybe. So he's in a room, and it's got a lot of sharp blades in there. But there's, if we can make the swim, there's an end to the tunnel.
All right,
Question for me on the
Cheria.
Do I notice on this wheel mechanism that I can see is powering it?
You don't see the wheeled mechanism.
Oh, I thought you said I saw it.
No, you can tell that there's something in there. You can hear the gears turning.
Oh, so
It's-
not.
it's
not
actually
something
quite
that I
loud.
could
Well,
probably.
it's like behind the.
So it's probably not something I could throw a lighted pot into and jam it up.
No.
Lighted.
All that you can tell is you can see the slits.
You don't like your pot?
You see the slits in the walls, just about 6 inches from the floor, and it's just one long slit,
Okay,
and
so I
that's
can
where these
so I can
things
see
are
the
all.
walls and there's no obvious thing driving this. Like the only thing I can see is that this tower in the middle might hold some kind of answer.
Yeah. So here's what this room looks like. Sort of.
But if nothing else, if I can get on top of the snake, I'm safe from the blades,
Uh-huh.
right?
If you can get on top of the snake, you will be safe from the blades.
As long as I can get on something
It's
that's
only you
over
and
6
Phoebe
inches
that
above the
you
floor.
and Phoebe
Sure.
went swimming.
And the blades don't ever
So,
actually touch the
after
snake.
covers
They
up,
they
you
retract and then go around it. So the blades will move this way, and then when they get to the snake, this
So
top
like,
blade
would
pulls
I actually
back,
have
and then
enough
it
room to
comes
like
back out.
actually stand next to it, like basically stand right up against it?
There's no room for you to stand between the blades and the snake.
Okay, so I would actually have to get up on the
This
snake.
is precision engineered.
I'm going to tell the party it took me about 2 minutes to get to that room. So
Okay.
if y'all want to come, I'll kind of bring up the rear and kind of push y'all along.
Alright, let's
It's
go.
dark. Don't touch anything. Don't pick up anything because they're not going to see all
Yeah,
this.
actually, you wouldn't have seen any of that
Yeah.
either. So it's
I'm
just
like, just be careful, but I'll bring up the rear.
okay.
Alright, let's go.
All right.
All right. So who doesn't have enough bubbles to make it all the way to the end?
So,
22 bubbles.
alright, I've got 23.
I have 25.
Okay.
I got 23.
All right. So everybody has enough that nobody has to make. So what happens if you don't have enough, if you run out of bubbles, you start taking bubbles back, but you have to make a Constitution check every round, and you make a Constitution check minus the number of bubbles you have. So the first round it would be a -1, and the second round would be a -2, and the third round -3. So you make more and more difficult Constitution checks as you continue to hold your breath past your comfort where you can because of your
None of us
air.
can see any of this stuff.
None of you can see any of that stuff.
So we're all in that room now.
Yeah, so you
Yeah,
all
we
come
can.
up right there in that little watery area.
Remove mine.
All right, you are there at the heart of the temple of the Serpent's Tongue, and we will pick it up here next time. Thanks for watching. We are Pieces of Fate.
Oh, fate.
Oh, fate. And remember, nerds, whatever you do, do it for both fortune and story.